Alright, class, welcome back. We are now on day 10 of English 3 or World Studies A. I wanted to do a short recording just to kind of walk you through what you're going to be doing today. So we're going to start with our do now, which is you're just going to write me a few sentences to explain what you learned in class yesterday. We started our research about Islam, and I want to know what you learned. What stuck out in your mind? What surprised you about what we've talked about? After we get done with that, I'm going to have you move on to this Pillars of Islam web search now. This is a fairly big project, so plan on spending at least 45 minutes on this to be able to answer everything correctly and cover all the material you need to cover. Specifically, what we're going to be looking at is the 5 Pillars of Islam, and we'll be using the BBC's website as well as PBS's website for a video. Now, in this Pillars of Islam handout, there is 15 questions. Again, these questions you'll be able to answer by using this website and this video. I want you to take your time through this. This is going to be one of the better introductions that you're going to get. Give you an understanding of how this religion affects people in the ways that it makes them behave. Now, after you've completed this, again, plan on this taking at least 45 minutes. I want you to move on to this 5 Pillars of Islam assignment. So what you're going to do in this assignment is you're going to rank the 5 Pillars of Islam. You should have a really good understanding of them as you've just spent the last little bit of class time working your way through them to understand them better. I did give you a brief introduction to each one and what they are, just as a reminder. But for this task, what I'd like you to do is rank the pillars from most difficult to least difficult, and then explain why these pillars might be challenging. Tell me why you ranked them in the way you did. Why do you think one would be harder to do than one of the others? After you've done that, we have a reading here that's Women in Islam. This is a good reading to give you an idea of how things have changed for women in Islam, as well as how they started. We don't always have a good perception of women's roles when it comes to Islam. We often oversimplify this as just one thing, and it has changed over time. This will show that. While you're answering the questions, try to give me specific information or evidence from the text to back up what you're claiming. After you've done that, fill out this worksheet to answer the questions. Now, this is going to be another one that you're going to have to gather some information online. And what I want you to do is answer the question. So this one's, how many Muslims are there in the world? Give me the source that you got this information from. Now, I want to pause here and remind you that Google is not a source. So if I come up here and I open a new tab and I type number of Muslims, a Muslim is someone who practices Islam, and look, there's my autofill. Number of Muslims in the world in 2021. So right here, I have that there are approximately 1.9 billion Muslims. That's great, but what's my source? I can't just say Google. That doesn't tell me anything. But if I look down here, I have worldpopulationreview.com. That is what I would put right here where it says source. So I would put my 1.9 billion here, which is a really big number. and then I would put my source, which was World Population Review, in this spot right here. I could then move on, do the same thing here, find a few countries that have a majority Muslim population, majority being more than 50%. Type in a few of those, type the website that I found it at. Do that same thing through this whole slide. Then summarize the history of the religion of Islam in a single paragraph. So what I mean by a single paragraph is roughly 4 sentences. Now, we've talked a lot about Islam over the last 2 days, so this is going to be a challenge, but try and tell me what you've learned about this religion. Alright, guys, I will see you next time.